Over his last 28 games, Lonzo Ball has been playing the best basketball of his career. In this stretch, he has put up 15.7 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game, doing so on amazing shooting splits. In addition, Lonzo has been playing great on the defensive end, continuing to show everyone that he's a two-way player. So yes, Lonzo has been having a really good season, and I think the Pelicans would be smart to re-sign him when he becomes a restricted free agent this summer. But let's not let his impressive play distract us from the fact that Lonzo still has holes in his game. In today's video, I want to dive deeper into the pros and cons of Lonzo's game, how he should be used with this Pelicans team, and how high his ceiling truly is. Before we get into it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. With all of that being said, let's talk about Lonzo Ball. First of all, I want to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of his game. What I love most about Lonzo is his basketball IQ. At 6'6", 190, Lonzo's physical attributes help him on the defensive end, but it's his intelligence that makes him elite on that side of the ball. This season, Lonzo has averaged just 2 fouls in 31.7 minutes per game. This is because he is a very disciplined defender, and he is under control when he closes out and contests shots. On top of being a tall point guard, Lonzo has a 6'7" wingspan and an 8'5" standing reach, meaning that he doesn't have to lunge at offensive players or jump way up in the air to bother them when they shoot. He's under control and tends to jump beside the body when he contests shots, which is a big reason why he doesn't commit a lot of fouls. Lonzo also has tremendous lateral quickness, which allows him to stay in front of players, get into passing lanes, and recover to block shots. Finally, Lonzo has incredible court awareness, and he can often see a play before it happens. He has great instincts and gets a lot of steals based off of his ability to predict where the offensive player is going to pass the ball. He's also able to use his instincts to grab rebounds, which helps close defensive possessions for his team. Being that Lonzo plays in the West, he has to go up against elite guard talent almost every night, but he still holds his own, which is very impressive. On the offensive end, the first thing that you think of when you hear Lonzo Ball is his passing ability. As I mentioned earlier, Lonzo has a great basketball IQ and feel for the game. What impresses me the most about Lonzo is that he recognizes the open man right away. Many players have tunnel vision or a score-first mentality, but Lonzo is an extremely unselfish player that is always thinking about the team first. If Lonzo has a good shot, he'll quickly swing it to someone else if they have an even better shot. If a teammate runs the floor, Lonzo will push the ball ahead to get them an easy bucket. When you combine his unselfishness with his court vision, Lonzo becomes a guy that others want to play with because they know they'll get the ball if they're open in the half court or if they force a turnover on defense and leak out in transition. The last strength of his that I want to touch on is his three-point shooting. At the making of this video, Lonzo Ball is shooting 38.4% from 3 on 8.1 attempts per game. What I've also noticed is that he's been shooting with more confidence lately. Even though Lonzo has shot the 3 ball well over the past 2 seasons, there were many times where he would hesitate even when he was open. Recently, Lonzo has been rising up to shoot when open, showing a newfound level of assertiveness. Now, some people might say that those numbers should be taken with a grain of salt because there haven't been many fans in the arena this year, and many players are having career years from 3. But I don't think that Lonzo is simply benefiting from playing in empty arenas since he shot at a very similar level last season. In 2019-20, Lonzo shot 37.5% from 3 on 6.3 attempts, which is really good. The past 2 seasons, Lonzo has been a good, arguably even great shooter. I know he was a bad shooter in his first 2 seasons, but he's completely changed his jump shot to the point where he's a legit threat from the 3-point line. So yes, there are a lot of good things to say about Lonzo, but there are also some negatives as well. There isn't much that I can criticize about his play on the defensive end. The only thing that I can really nitpick is his effort at times. It doesn't happen often, but there are times where Lonzo doesn't fight through a screen as hard as he could, or instances in which he plays lazy help defense and doesn't provide the best help. Still, those are very minor issues, as most of the time he's giving you elite production on that end. However, there are some parts of his offensive game that still need improvement. In my opinion, there are 3 significant things that he needs to develop and 2 minor aspects that he needs to improve on. I'm going to start by talking about the 2 minor aspects of his offensive game that need work. First of all, I'd like to see him attempt some more mid-range jump shots. Lonzo is an improved mid-range shooter this year, hitting 44% from 10 to 16 feet and 44.4% of his attempts from 16 feet to the 3-point line. Steven Adams is a great screen setter, and he can clear out enough space for Lonzo to get open pull-up shots in that area. Since Lonzo has struggled to get to the rim in the half court, being a consistent threat from the 3-point line and mid-range area could open up a lot more lanes for Lonzo to get to the rim. The next little tweak that I'd like to see him make is becoming a better cutter. When Lonzo is off the ball, he's typically waiting at the three-point line for catch-and-shoot opportunities. This is fine because by doing that, he's spacing the floor for Ingram and Zion, but I would like to see him make more backdoor cuts. If Lonzo cuts backdoor, his defender is going to be behind the play, meaning that one of his teammates will have to help on Lonzo. If Lonzo gets the ball off a backdoor cut, it's going to put the defense at a disadvantage, and 9 times out of 10, Lonzo will find an open shooter or a cutting Zion or Steven Adams. Now let's move on to the 3 offensive skills that Lonzo can significantly improve on. Starting off, he needs to work on his handle. Now, Lonzo's handle is not bad. It's not like he's constantly getting ripped or losing control of the ball, but how many times have you seen Lonzo take his man off the dribble and get to the bucket? Am I expecting Lonzo to develop an elite handle like Steph or Kyrie? No, but he could realistically add a nice hesitation move or a few counter dribbles that could make him more of a threat off the bounce. However, an improved handle won't matter if Lonzo can't improve these last 2 aspects of his game, his floater and his ability to finish through contact. One thing that I've desperately been wanting Lonzo to add is the floater. From 3 to 10 feet, which is an area where guards take a lot of floaters, Lonzo is shooting just 24.1%. I don't know what the exact problem is, but his floaters just don't look fluid. If you can master that shot as a guard, it can really open up the game for you. Guys like Steph and CP3 have mastered that shot, and it's become something that they can go to get their team an easy bucket. Most importantly, being able to connect on floaters makes it easier to get to the rim because the defense has to show you respect on that shot. While Lonzo is shooting 63.1% around the basket this season, that percentage is deceiving, and it's the last weakness of his that I want to touch on. The main reason why Lonzo's percentage around the basket is so high is because he's mainly taking inside shots when the paint is open. Only 16.6% of Lonzo's shots are coming at the rim this year, which tells me that he's not confident going to the rim. According to NBA.com, Lonzo averages 5.3 drives per game and shoots 37.8% on shots when he's driving to the rim. In addition, Lonzo only gets 0.4 free throw attempts off of those drives. This shows that he doesn't embrace contact very well, and it significantly affects his shots near the basket. In comparison, his younger brother LaMelo drives 11.6 times per game, shoots 50.3% on drives, and gets 1.3 free throw attempts per game off of them. That being said, it doesn't seem like a coincidence that 65.5% of Lonzo's shots are coming from 3 this season, because the closer he gets to the bucket, the less confident he gets in his abilities. While Lonzo is partly to blame for his heavy reliance on the 3-point shot, Stan Van Gundy deserves some blame as well. This season, the amount that Lonzo has the ball in his hands can vary from game to game. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as he did last year, how is he supposed to improve on his handle, his mid-range pull-up, his floater, or his ability to draw fouls and finish through contact? The best way to improve is through in-game reps, and I don't think that Stan Van Gundy has put Lonzo in the optimal position to improve on his weaknesses. I also mentioned earlier that I'd like to see Lonzo do some more things off the ball, and I think Van Gundy can help by drawing up plays for him. I think that Lonzo has the ability to shoot off of pin downs or floppy sets, especially when he's drifting to his left. Then there's always the option of Lonzo denying the screen and cutting back door, which I already said would be a good thing. All in all, Lonzo is a good starter in the league at just 23 years old, but I believe that he can be an all-star once he hits his prime. He's already a great defender, passer, rebounder, and 3-point shooter in year 4. If he gets a coach that wants to play at a fast pace, that also lets him handle the ball more than Van Gundy does, I believe that Lonzo's confidence will continue to increase, and he'll start to patch up the holes in his game. It's hard to predict what kind of stats a guy might put up in his prime, just because the surrounding pieces can really impact someone's individual stats. But if I had to guess, I would say that Lonzo will average something like 17 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, and he'll shoot 44% from the field, 39% from 3, and 75% from the line. On top of that, he'll continue to be a great defender and make an impact on that end of the floor. And those would be all-star numbers. Besides the difference in percentages, those stats combined with elite level defense is similar to what Ben Simmons is doing right now. And Simmons is a top 20, arguably even top 15 player in the league. Lonzo will probably be a finished product in 5 years or so, but if he's going to become the player that I think he can become, he'll have to work on the weaknesses that I touched on, and he'll have to play for a coach that puts the ball in his hands more often. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and make sure to comment down below what your thoughts are on Lonzo Ball. Should he re-sign with the Pelicans next season? Should he look to go elsewhere? Let me know what you think, and with all of that being said, I'm out.